What is going on, Pisces? Pisces Gang, it's Chris Anthony coming at you guys live and direct. This is going to be your reading for the month of June, and it's covering the whole month, so we're going to be tapping into your energies and see what the forecast has to say. Now, this is a general reading. It may not resonate with everyone. If it does resonate with you, though, do me a favor, give me a like, share, subscribe, or a comment. Just to let me know that it helps you out in some type of way. That also helps the channel. If it doesn't resonate with you, you can always check out your rising or moon sign, or check out the previous reading for Pisces that happened last month. Right, we're going to be getting into your present energies first, Pisces, right here, like we always do it. And then after that, we're going to be hopping into your futuristic energies over here, talking about mid-June to the end of June. All right. Also, Pisces, go follow me on my IG if you don't already. Thank you to all the Pisces that follow me already. It's at chrisanthony14lbs, Chris Anthony 14 pounds. That'll be in my description. Let's hop into the reading. It is Gemini season. But Pisces, what's going on with you? We have the Six of Swords clarified by the Four of Cups. So Six of Swords could be representing you moving away from a certain way of being, moving away from a certain way of thinking or a certain mentality, right? You could be moving away from something just in your everyday life or in general, maybe moving away from a person or moving away from a job or career or something that you probably could have been focused on before, but you're just getting the feeling that you kind of want to move away because it hasn't been the most, comfortable or best experience for you. So you could be in a place where you're kind of like moving past that type of energy, Then you have it clarified by the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups means that you're probably not accepting any like new offers at the time, or to me it feels like you could not be accepting anything that kind of matches this energy that you're moving away from. You're wanting to move on to a brand new place of being, a brand new kind of mentality, a brand new energetic frequency. And you're wanting to close out the older cycle that you've been in. And so maybe I feel at this point you could be kind of rejecting some offers that could come in that are kind of like matching that old frequency that you used to be on. You're coming into a brand new cycle of existing energetically, a brand new mentality, and so you could definitely be making sure you close all the doors to this older cycle when it comes down to things that connect to it, people, places, and things. Right now, for some of you other Pisces, it could represent you kind of moving away from a place of being kind of like bored with life, kind of being not driven, not enthusiastic, kind of unmotivated, being in a place where you're kind of like in a funk a little bit, and you didn't have the drive to kind of like, chase after things in life, or there was nothing in life that made you light up or gave you inspiration, and you kind of was feeling bored in some type of way. You could be moving from out of a type of cycle like that too, where you just felt uninspired, apathetic, just feeling the blah type of energy, right? So either way it goes, we're moving on from an older type of being or older way of seeing the world or energy and headed towards a new place, right? Now that new place, we have the Empress card, and then it's clarified by the Five of Pentacles. So this new place could be a place of creation, right? A place where you're tapping into your artistic, spiritual abilities. You're tapping into your ability to nurture your gifts, your talents, right? You're tapping into a more resourceful energy where you're tapping into your own resources. The Empress card here is all of those things, right? This is the mother of the tarot, the nurturer of the tarot, all things creative, all things spiritual and artistic. So this could be the energy that you're wanting to move into, where you're tapping into what you want to do creatively, tapping into the creative force and moving away from whatever had you kind of clogged up in the past, the type of energy that had you stuck and feeling like, you weren't inspired and nothing was happening in your life. And, it's kind of like the staleness of life, But now you're moving into a fresh, powerful, creative energy, connecting with that creative force, that universal force that, lightens you up as a Pisces and makes you do the things that you love to do, which is be creative, be spiritual, be artistic, bring something from, your imaginary dream world into reality. This is what the Empress card represents. So then, with it being clarified by the Five of Pentacles, this could definitely be something that's going to affect your money. You could have also before been in a place where you were kind of like lacking in your finances, or maybe not having the finances that you wanted or needed or know that you're supposed to have. And so you're also moving away from a place of lack, probably having a lack type of mentality or lack mindset that was attracting certain things that match that lack in your external world. Now you're moving towards abundance. The Empress card talks about abundance, creating abundance for yourself, attracting abundance through your creativity, through your spirituality, through your artistic abilities, right? So this is where you're going. You're wanting to create something for yourself, and I believe moving away from an old stale energy that no longer serves you, that kind of was too small for who it is that you are, which is probably why you started to slow down and be less motivated and, feel bored with life a little bit. All right, so then we come over here and we have the Nine of Swords, which I haven't seen for a while in the Pisces readings. And it's clarified by the King of Cups. So this move, or maybe this old cycle that you were in, probably was starting to stress you out, starting to make you feel anxious a little bit, because as a Pisces, we definitely like to be free flowing. We like the energy to be flowing. We like to be connected to the creative force. So if we were in a place where all of that was closed off and it was stale energy and something had become stagnant, if this was our environment, we're trying now in the month of June to get away from that type of environment, because it's starting to bring us into a place where we're stressed out a little bit, anxious, waking up, like not feeling great about our day, waking up, in the middle of the night, not able to sleep. Something is wrong. This is kind of like your spider senses are tingling. And maybe your spider senses have been tingling for a while, and it's making you kind of move on to another place or move away from a certain energy, a certain, activity that kind of was bringing you lack. It wasn't bringing you into that free flow of energy. So then it's clarified by the King of Cups card. King of Cups represents you, Pisces, and you being in your mature nature. This is kind of like the evolved Pisces, right? Where you're definitely, even though you're feeling this anxiety from the Nine of Swords, even though you're kind of stressed out a little bit about the environment that you're in, you're still very grounded in your energy and your emotions. You're not allowing your emotions to get involved and make something, kind of bigger than it is, right? You feel that your spider senses are tingling a little bit, but you're definitely resolved and you have some resolute energy about what you're going to do next, and you know how you want to move and what you want to adjust and what you need to change. So you're keeping your emotions very balanced so that you can stay rational and logical, right? You're not allowing, the stressful and anxious energies to just throw you for a loop and throw you everywhere and make you just be like, oh, what am I going to do? Wow, like I'm stressed out. I don't know. I don't like what's happening here. I don't feel good. You feel all that, but that's making you kind of like hone everything in and see what actions you could take with this King of Cups energy. Keeping your emotions grounded and stable so that you don't get thrown out of whack, right? So then over here we have the Seven of Swords energy, and it's clarified by the World card. Now, usually I would say that the Seven of Swords represents some type of deception going on, like you either trying to deceive somebody or somebody else could be trying to deceive you. But with the World card being the clarifier, I feel like you are stepping into a new cycle. The World card represents a new cycle, a graduation, a closing off of a cycle, a closing of a chapter. and moving on to the next one. It's kind of like a celebration of an ending of a chapter, right? With the Seven of Swords here, I feel like you may have to be strategic about this closeout of this cycle, because you are moving on into the next cycle of your life, the next cycle of your phase. With the Six of Swords heading into the World card, this talks about a major shift of a cycle, not just a regular ending of a cycle and new beginning. This talks about a major cycle shift, right? An ending of a whole era of your life, of a whole energetic frequency moving into a brand new one. So you may have to be strategic about closing it out. Seven of Swords here could sometimes talk about flying under the radar, keeping your business to yourself, kind of keeping things under wraps, about making your moves, because there are moves that are being made. Right? You're moving away from this stressful environment that you've been in and moving towards something else, but maybe you don't need to let everyone know what your plans are, maybe in the environment that's kind of making you feel stressed out or making you feel like you're apathetic or bored or uninspired. You need to kind of still be strategic around this environment until you can kind of like move out into this new cycle, because there is definitely a new cycle coming in. And it's a cycle of abundance. Definitely. You're moving out of this lack type of environment that you've been in that's been kind of stressing you out into a more abundant, colorful, creative, inspirational, everything that is Pisces, everything that matches your energy is where you're moving to. Right? But in order to close out this old cycle, you do need to be strategic a little bit. Maybe you need to plan how to wrap it up. You need to make sure you get all of your ducks in a row. You probably, let's say if you're leaving from one job, moving to another one, you need to kind of like be strategic on who you tell and make sure that you kind of like, tie all the loose ends up before you begin in this new cycle that you're starting. But I'm loving this new place that you're headed into, because I'm seeing all the colors that the Empress card and the World card is representing, and it's kind of like you're moving into a cycle that matches who you are more. You've outgrown this older cycle that doesn't match who you are. Four of Cups has nothing to do with who you are as a person. You can't use your talents and abilities in this older environment, and it starts to drain you. It starts to stress you out. It's bringing up anxieties, and that's how you know it's time for you to move somewhere else. But you definitely have to kind of fly under the radar and not let it be known to the wrong people that you're kind of like moving on to the next phase. Just so it could be more of a smoother cycle is what I'm picking up. Right underneath that, we have the Five of Wands, and it's clarified by the Hierophant card. So Five of Wands here could be talking about some conflict that's happening, maybe in this environment that you're wanting to move away from. It could be a very competitive environment, a lot of conflict, petty arguments, maybe lower vibrations, maybe immature people could be surrounding you, and you definitely, either have to kind of like fight for yourself inside of this environment, fend for yourself, or you just definitely don't want to be a part of it at all. It's clarified by the Hierophant card. So this could be a more traditional setting that maybe you're in. Let's say when it comes down to work, you could be in a more traditional type of job, and it's kind of, a dog eat dog kind of environment, very competitive. It just, you don't feel like you kind of fit in there, maybe. And so you could be taking on a Hierophant role, or you could be wanting to kind of like fight against this traditional way of being and kind of like go off into a more kind of out of the norm, out of the ordinary type of role, which is what could be represented here by the Empress energy, right? Another scenario could be, you could be the one that's kind of like taking on a role that people are wanting to come to for advice. You know, you could be sharing the information that you've learned and through your experiences with other people, right? And kind of being a mediator in some type of way. If you're around people who are like arguing over certain things or can't get understandings and everybody just has too much of a big ego, you could be the one during this month that's kind of becoming like a mediator between two different sides of people, because maybe you're taking a more neutral energy in this entire, approach or environment that you're in. Like you don't have, any side that you're taking. You're kind of taking a more neutral side, so you could have people coming to you like, what do you think? Like, it looks like you're taking a neutral position. What do you think about this? And that could be happening in June also. You could be around certain people who are like arguing over something, and you're kind of like in the middle of it, but they kind of make you as the mediator in some type of way. Or you could, like I said, just be trying to fight against an old way of doing things, because that's been the overall theme of this reading. It's kind of moving away from a certain way of being that you've been in, moving towards a brand new cycle, something newer that is kind of, it wouldn't be the traditional thing. It wouldn't be something that you already know of. It's kind of like jumping into a brand new place. So yeah, let's see what your futuristic energy is talking about, Pisces. We have the Five of Swords here. We have the Knight of Wands. We have the Two of Wands, and then we have the Death card. So Five of Swords here is talking about a lot of times a lose-lose situation, or some type of situation where you kind of need to walk away from before it turns into something that could be a lot worse, right? And maybe that's what it is that you're doing over here with all this moving on energy, moving away, trying to leave, something that could just have a bad outcome. So you could be definitely walking away from some type of conflict that was happening that made you feel like you were kind of stressed out and anxious, and it just wasn't sitting well with you. You're wanting to get away from it as quickly as possible. And you're taking on the Queen of Cups energy here, which is similar to the King of Cups energy. She's that nurturing type of energy, very stable in her emotions. She definitely will put her emotional feelings over, anything else when it comes down to her environment. So I feel like this is why you're moving away from this environment, because it's not emotionally fulfilling in some type of way. And you're wanting to walk away from it, before it kind of like causes you more stress, more pain. You're wanting to move away from it to protect your emotional state. And this is why we have the King of Cups here and the Queen of Cups here, because you're putting yourself first when it comes down to your emotional state. Four of Cups energy, you're rejecting something that doesn't match who you are and kind of tapping into your own Empress energy, your own watery emotional energy, and you long to be emotionally fulfilled, so you're stepping away from a certain thing that's unfulfilling. Then we have the Knight of Wands energy. You're heading in a rush towards something brand new. Ace of Cups, brand new beginning coming in emotionally, emotional fulfillment. So you're definitely in a rush to get away from this older environment, and you're running full speed ahead passionately into this brand new era of emotional fulfillment. Whatever it is that you're beginning, that you're starting, that you're wanting to invest your time and energy in, you're moving pretty quickly towards it, because you know that it's a new beginning on the horizon. With this World card energy talking about wrapping up an entire cycle, an era, you know that now you're coming into a brand new beginning of emotional fulfillment, and that is what is next in this chapter for you, Pisces, which is bringing your passion, your drive back. You're getting out of that stuck energy, that stale energy. You're getting kind of pumped up a little bit for what is new and what could become the potential of your emotional fulfillment, and moving closer to that. very quickly, right? Then we have the Two of Cups energy clarified by the Seven of Swords is here again. So Two of Wands is what I meant. Two of Wands energy here talks about choosing a new path. Once again, we're talking about leaving one thing, going into something else. You could be choosing a new career path. You could be moving to a different place. You could be, just moving from one way of being, one type of energy to something else, thinking about starting something new. And you're definitely doing it strategically. Yeah, you're keeping it under wraps. It's kind of like your very own secret as to what you're doing. Maybe people see you making moves, but they don't exactly know what it's about and what's happening in the month of June, like beneath the surface, but you know exactly what it is, and it's because you're headed out into something brand new. You're taking a step into a new direction and closing out an old cycle. With that wand being behind him and him holding on to the wand in front of him, it's something that you're turning your back on, moving towards something newer and closing out an old chapter. And doing it in a way where it's definitely under the radar, very strategic. You kind of thought it out, and you're making sure you're not giving this information to the wrong people so that it could be a smooth transition. And then we have the Death card. There we go again, transition card. Transformation, death and a rebirth. So it's definitely a death happening in this older cycle and a rebirth of a new one coming around. Five of Wands, this is ending the conflict, right, that you have been experiencing. With this Nine of Wands energy, with this Five of Wands, again, conflict. It could have been inner conflict or outer conflict. I'm definitely picking up that it could have been an environment that you're in that was just very conflictive, made you feel very conflictive energy. And now, because you're closing out this chapter and starting this new cycle, you're having this transformative energy, this rebirth that's coming, and definitely putting it into this conflictive type energy, bringing in a brand new cycle for you. So Pisces, good luck with that. It's kind of a short, quick reading, 22 minutes, but it's definitely clear, and to the point. You're definitely moving on from something, going into something brand new in the month of June, closing out an older cycle and moving away from energies that no longer serve you. This is going to be a big move in some type of way with the World card here, with the Death card, major arcana, major moves happening. And you're no longer allowing yourself to stay stuck in a certain place that you've been in for a while now. So congratulations, Pisces. Good luck with that move. I'll be checking in with you guys maybe towards the end of the month or next month for July. And I think that's all. Yeah. So later.